Hey friends, back with another gameplay. Today I will be piloting the partner pair of Tevesh Szat as well as Rograk. Tevesh Szat's a planeswalker that can make you some creature tokens. You can sacrifice creatures or planeswalkers to draw some cards, and then you can ultimate him to get all commanders onto the battlefield, which is kind of the goal. We want to get Rograk out in addition to Tevesh Szat just for extra sacrifice fodder. He more gives us colors than anything else, but it's a 0/1 with First Strike, Menace, and Trample. But ideally we'll get to steal our opponent's commander with Tevesh Szat. This is kind of a mid-range deck where you want to turbo out Tevesh Szat and then just protect him. Our opponent is piloting Emet Selch, Unsundered. It's a 2/4 with Vigilance that allows you to loot on enter and attack. And then if you have 14 or more cards, you can transform Emet Selch. And the transformed version is a 6/6 with Vigilance that allows you to play cards from your graveyard. This is definitely a reanimator type deck. The goal is to fill up our graveyard, or Emet Selch's goal is to fill up his graveyard with a bunch of huge beaters and then bring those cards back with animate dead type effects. Emet Selch won the coin toss, so he'll be going first. We're going second, and I think this is a keepable hand. So we'll go ahead and allow our opponent to start off with a swamp, and then we draw into a Tithing Blade. I think we go ahead and play the Scalding Tarn, paying the life, and seeing as we don't have anything else to do, we'll get a Raucous Theater, which will allow us to surveil one. We've got a Soul Talisman on top of our library, and I think we leave that on top. That'll give us a ramp source, and then we'll pass to our opponent, who plays a Promising Vein, sacking it to search up an island, passing back to us. We'll go ahead and play a swamp into this Pented Prism. We'll pay a black and a red into it, so it comes in with 2 counters, and then we'll pay 1 for this Soul Talisman using one of our counters off of the Pented Prism. So that'll get suspended, and then we'll pass to our opponent. Sunken Hollow is their land for turn, and then they'll play Emet Selch, so they'll go ahead and loot. We remove a suspend counter from the Soul Talisman and then draw into a Great Furnace. I think the proper play is to play this Tithing Blade and probably the Great Furnace. Yeah, let's play the Great Furnace, and then we'll pay 2 for the Tithing Blade, forcing our opponent to sacrifice their commander. And then we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent. We're looking at Tevesh Szat next turn. Ideally, we're able to play him on turn 3, but didn't work out for us. Emperor of Bones from our opponent. And then we'll go ahead and remove another suspend counter. We draw into the Orcish Bowmaster. So let's play Promising Vein into Tevesh Szat. They do have 1 blue up, so we might be playing into a counter spell, but I don't really see much else to do to get around that. So we'll go ahead and play the Promising Vein as land for turn, and then we'll attempt to cast Tevesh Szat. And they do counter it with a Daze, so we'll let him go back to the command zone. And we got nothing else, so we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent, and they'll return the Tithing Blade to our hand. That's going to be a CPU error, but it gives us an extra removal, so I'm not going to complain about that. And then they exile a card from our graveyard, swing for 2, and then we go ahead and get our Soul Talisman out with a swamp that will give us access to our commander. So I think we try again. They once again have a blue, but I think we go ahead and try for that. And this time Tevesh Szat will stick. We'll go ahead and create a couple of Thrall creature tokens and then pass to our opponent. They're stuck on 3 lands, so that is looking good for us. They surveil 1, and then we see a Bitter Triumph, so Tevesh Szat back to the command zone. Fortunately, we're not able to get him to stick this game, and then an Emperor Bones to swing for 2. I think we go ahead and just take that too. And then Inquisition of Kozilek, so they're going to remove any non-land card they want with a CMC of 3 or less. They get the Simian Spirit Guide, and then we draw into a Fellwar Stone. We're looking at 2 turns away from Tevesh Szat again. I think we play the Fellwar Stone into the Troll of Khazad-dûm. Let's do that. Fellwar Stone for 2, and then Troll of Khazad-dûm for 6. Then we'll pass to our opponent. Emperor of Bones again to exile our graveyard. Emet Selch from our opponent, so they'll loot. And then they'll pass to us. We draw into a Deadly Dispute. And I want to go to combat and attack with the troll. They can't block because it's got like menace +1. So we'll go down to 11. And then I think the proper play is an Orcish Bowmaster for 2. We'll deal a damage to our opponent's face. And let's go ahead and play our Tithing Blade as well. Our opponent to sacrifice the Emperor of Bones. Then we'll leave this mana up to Sheoldred's Addict or Deadly Dispute, depending on what we see from our opponent. I actually probably should have just gone ahead and played that Sheoldred's Addict. We get a Saw in half. Destroy target creature. If that creature dies this way, its controller creates 2 tokens that are copies of that creature, except their power is half that creature's power and their toughness is half that creature's toughness. Round up each time. Oh, okay. I'm good with that. That's fine. Troll of Khazad-dûm to get destroyed. We get a couple 3/3 Troll of Khazad-dûms. Still hard to block. And then before they get another loot effect, I'm going to go ahead and force them to sacrifice a creature, hopefully. And let's see. Oh my gosh, I selected the wrong effect. I meant to do a non-token creature and I selected a token creature. We got one floating. We're going to go ahead and activate our Promising Vein while that one is floating. And we'll get a Mountain to the battlefield. And then our opponent to cast Collective Brutality on us. So we're going to lose this Deadly Dispute. Then it's our turn. We draw into a Mind Stone. So we'll play that for 2. And then I think we go ahead and swing with both of our trolls. Opponent down to 6, and they just pass the turn to us, so I think we're good. We'll just go straight to combat. Well, let's get a draw off of our Skull Clamp. We'll go ahead and equip one of our Thralls. We draw into a Rakdos Carnarium and an Eviscerator's Insight. Let's go ahead and equip another Thrall. Draw a couple more cards, and we get into some more lands. Well, I think we can go to combat now. Let's go ahead and swing with both of our trolls. And our opponent to get knocked out, so we'll move to game 2. And we have a very keepable starting hand for game 2. Our opponent will be going first as they lost game 1. So we'll go ahead and keep, and our opponent will open with a Drowned Catacomb. And they'll pass to us, so we'll go ahead and play a Bloodstained Mire into a Badlands, and then we're going to go ahead and use that Badlands to play Dead Fugue. So we'll take a look at our opponent's hand. They've got the Archon of Cruelty, Yawgmoth's Will, Metamorphosis Fanatic, Prismatic Vista, Careful Study, and Astral Dragon. We only have one legal target there, so we'll force them to discard the Careful Study. Lots of bigs in their hand, so hopefully we can close this out quickly. And then we'll pass to our opponent. Prismatic Vista as land for turn into an island. Then they'll play 2 for an unmarked grave, so they'll get a non-legendary and put it into their graveyard. They get Bahamut, so hopefully we can not see that hit the battlefield. And then we'll draw into a Deadly Dispute. Let's play the Promising Vein, and then we'll pass to our opponent. They'll play a Swamp for turn, and then we'll see Emet Selch hit the battlefield. It'll loot. And then at the end of turn, we'll go ahead and activate this Promising Vein. Let's get a Swamp, mostly because of that Witch's Cottage. And then we draw into a Thought Vessel. I think we play Command Tower for turn. And then I think we go ahead and play this Thought Vessel into the Bitter Triumph, removing Emet Selch just so he can't mill more cards. Slow our opponent down, hopefully a little bit. Destroy. Let's make sure we click properly. We'll pay 3 life, as I don't want to discard any of the cards we got in our hand. And we'll remove Emet Selch. So he'll go back to the command zone, and then we'll pass to our opponent. Again, they're stuck on 3 lands, so that's looking favorable for us. We draw into an expedition map, and I think we can go ahead and play Tevesh Szat into probably a counterspell. We'll play Blazemire Verge as our land for turn. We don't need to use this to get out Tevesh Szat. Maybe we want to just so we have an extra 1 in case they have a Daze or Force Spike type effect. Let's try that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right play. If not, we can use it to at least put the expedition map out. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. So we'll pay 2 for this Pyretic Ritual. Gives us 3 red. Then we'll attempt to cast Tevesh Szat. Use the 3 floating. And they'll play Spell Pierce unless we can pay 2. Dang. Alright, so Tevesh Szat to be countered. We can't pay the 2. So he'll go back to the command zone, and then I guess we'll just use this 1 to play Expedition Map. Bummer. Pass back to our opponent, and again they're stuck on 3 lands and they pass back to us. We draw into a swamp, and I think we just leave our mana. Well, let's go ahead and see what we can get with the Expedition Map. Probably should have used that before I played my swamp. I think the right play is to get Silkenzen, Crucible of Defiance. Gives us the option of creating some extra spirit tokens, which I do like. Otherwise, there's nothing else super enticing that we could pull. So I'll go ahead and get this to hand, and then we can go ahead and pass to our opponent. Again, stuck on 3 lands, so that's looking favorable for us. We draw into a Feed the Swarm. We'll try this land, and we'll try to cast Tevesh Szat again, and we get Memory Lapsed, and I think we let it go to the top of our library, just so we don't have to play the commander tax, and hopefully the top of our library doesn't get played with. Our opponent, again, stuck on 3 lands. And then we will draw into Tevesh Szat. We'll go ahead and play him for 5, see what counter spells our opponent has in hand. And this time he will stick. So we'll go ahead and +2 him to create a couple of thralls. And pass to our opponent. Flooded Strand from our opponent, so they'll get out of that 3-land rut. And then pass back to us. Redraw into a swamp. I should have Deadly Disputed at the end of last turn. Unfortunately, I'm not that brilliant. So we'll go ahead and create some more thralls, as we don't need the draws right at this moment, and I'd like to get steal our opponent's commander. And with that, we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent, possibly activating this. Oh, that's for channeling. Oh, I didn't even realize. I thought you could sacrifice it to do this. It's discard it. Alright, we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent, and they don't get another land. They're just stuck on a bunch of bigs in hand. They are at 7 cards now, so next turn they'll have to discard if they don't get something they can play. Now we'll go ahead and play this Deadly Dispute for 2. Sacrifice a Thrall. Draw 2 cards. We also get a treasure out of it. We draw into Arcane Signet and Shieldred's Edict. So we're looking at a lot of control in our hand. And then I think we go ahead and untap and draw. We get into a Scalding Tarn. We'll go ahead and pay the life and get a Raucous Theater. Surveil 1 when it enters. It's a mountain on top, so we'll go ahead and put that in our graveyard. Play the Arcane Signet as a land for turn, or as a mana rock, I should say. And then let's go ahead and sacrifice one of our thralls to draw 2 cards. We draw into a Wooded Foothills and an Innocent Blood, so more removal. And we've already played a land for turn, so with that we'll just pass back to our opponent. And they get nothing, so they're actually going to have to discard, and they discard the Astral Dragon. Now we get into a Urza's Saga, so we'll go ahead and play the Wooded Foothills, pay a life, get out a Blood Crypt. We don't need to pay the 2 life for that, it can enter tapped. We'll go ahead and make a couple more thralls, gets us over our ultimate, so we should be able to do that next turn. And we don't have anything else that we can really do. So we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent. No lands again, so our opponent just being mana screwed this game. We go ahead and draw into a Wayfarer's Bauble. We'll play Urza's Saga as a land for turn. Play the Bauble for 1. We'll go ahead and sack the Bauble. And we'll put a Swamp onto the battlefield tapped. And then I think we go ahead and ultimate Tevesh Szat. Steal our opponent's commander. We'll loot 1 when he enters, so we draw into a Jet Medallion. We don't really need more mana at this point, so I think we go ahead and discard the medallion. And then we'll go ahead and pass to our opponent. He's going to go ahead and saw in half his own commander, so I'll have a couple of 1/4s. Probably have to sacrifice 1 to Legendary Rule. Yes. But then I got 2 more enter the battlefield effects. So I draw into a Orcish Bowmasters. Let's go ahead and keep that. And we'll get rid of, I think we get rid of the Innocent Blood, and then we draw into an Oliphant. That would allow us to start putting some pressure on opponent, as it's a 6/4 So would the Orcish Bowmasters. So I want to keep both of those. I think we go ahead and get rid of Tragic Slip so that we can try and close out this game. And then we go, oh, we can't attack, so I think that's all we've got. Oh, we'll move to second main phase. So I'll go ahead and play the Orcish Bowmaster for 2, deal a damage to our opponent. And then we'll play the Oliphant as a creature, and then we'll pass to our opponent. Marsh Flats from our opponent, so they do get up to 5 lands now. And then we have 14 cards in our library, or in our graveyard, so we get to flip Emet Selch, the Emet Selch token. So it'll still be a 1/2. We draw into a Braid. Urza's Saga moves to the second chapter. Let's go ahead and activate that. Pay the 2. We get a Construct token that's a 4/4. Let's sacrifice a Thrall to draw some cards. We get into a Swamp and a Marsh Flats. Let's go ahead and play the Marsh Flats as land for turn, pay a life. We'll get the Witch's Cottage out. Oh, it doesn't have its enter the battlefield effect because I don't have a single creature in my graveyard, so I can't put anything back on top of my library. That was a big misplay. We'll go ahead and go to attacks. We'll swing with the Bowmaster, the Oliphant, our Hades token, and our Army of Orcs. And when the Oliphant attacks, we can give another creature +2/+0. We'll give it to our Army of Orcs. And then our opponent down to 5, so they are on a 1-turn clock if they don't get something out this next turn. And we'll see Emet Selch hit the battlefield. He'll do his loot thing. They do get another card, so I'll deal a damage to the face. And then I'm going to go ahead and play this Sheoldred's Edict. I'll force him to sacrifice a non-token creature. So Emet Selch will be removed. We'll go ahead and draw into Eviscerator's Insight. Urza's Saga is going to move to the last chapter. We'll go ahead and get Skull Clamp from our graveyard from our library to the battlefield. Let's go ahead and play a Swamp as a land for turn. And then let's plush Tevesh Szat. Well, actually, since we've got the Skull Clamp, I think we go ahead and make more Thralls, and then we can start just equipping Thralls to draw cards. I forgot, this Hades guy is preventing my creatures from going to the graveyard, so that's unfortunate. We'll go ahead and equip the Hades creature. I tried to get a Thrall to get me some extra card draw, but that didn't work out. Unless our opponent's got some kind of a fog effector or something, I think we've got game in hand, but we'll go ahead and swing. We'll have the Oliphant give Hades +4 or +2, so he's a 4/1. And then that will knock out our opponent. So Tevesh Szat with the win, 2-0 over Emet Selch. That second game, a bit of a non-game there, as Emet Selch got mana screwed, but sometimes Magic be like that. If you made it this far, you get to answer our question of the day, it being International Mountain Day. Let me know down in the comments your favorite mountain or mountain range. Mine is the Cascades over in Washington State. There's a hike there called Wallace Falls Trail, and it's a beautiful hike, so if you're in that area, I recommend you check it out. YouTube thinks you'll like the video in the top right. Otherwise, you could check out one of the playlists on the bottom. If you liked the video, consider subscribing by clicking the button in the top left. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment with your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.